Hello, and welcome to another episode of Crizzy Books. I'm Crizzy, or Chris, but only my homeboys call me Chris. And today I'm going to be doing a review for The Call of the Wild by Jack London. What could possibly be said by me that hasn't been said about this absolute classic of literature? They make kids read this book in school. I never had to, but they make kids read this. It's been on my radar for a long time. And being a dog lover, I had to read it. I finally got around to doing it, which I'm really happy about. It's about a dog, and it's about nature, and it's about being tough, and primal, and learning to love and to be loved. And it's about revenge. It's about a lot of stuff, but it's good. It's real good. But let's get into the plot, shall we? In The Call of the Wild, we follow a dog named Buck. He's a big-ass dog. He's a mix between a shepherd and St. Bernard, I believe. And he lives on an estate with a family until one day he is stolen, kidnapped by the gardener of the estate, who then sells him off to a guy who sells sled dogs to sled dog teams. And he's put on a team where he has to learn the ranks and learn his place, not just amongst his team, but his place in the world and what kind of a dog he is and what kind of a dog that he wants to be. He refers to this as the law of club and fang. The law of club being the laws of man, and that man is really in total control most of the time because he beats a dog with a club. So he has to learn that law, and then the club of fang would be amongst his peers and his other dogs. Where does he stand amongst them? How does he take his place? How does he get the things that he wants? And that's what he does. He fights for rank amongst his peers. He fights for admiration amongst his human leaders. He seeks prestige and glory. He wants to be the best and be the leader of the pack. And he does. He is. He's a total badass. And along the way in this journey of him learning all of these things about himself and the world, he's also getting in touch with his primal side. He gets into fights with rival dogs, kills them. He breaks a record for the fastest time on one of these sledding trails, until eventually, after a long, hard-fought journey on the sled, him and his team are sold off to another group of 3 dumb fuck idiots who have no idea what they're doing. They take this team on, and they pretty much work each one of these dogs to death. They're forcing them to carry a load that is way too heavy. The dogs are already dead tired when they're sold to this team and need rest, and they are never given it. And slowly, one by one, Buck watches as all of his companions around him and his team are shot or just fall down and die. And it's really sad. Until eventually he finds a man named Thornton who takes him and basically threatens these guys, like, if you do something to this dog, I'll fucking kill you right now. And so the dumb fucks leave, and they fall through ice, and they all die. And they got exactly what they deserved. But with Thornton, Buck finds love, and he learns to love a human being and to be loved by that human being. And Thornton's just awesome. They have a lot of great adventures and stories that they share in, and eventually Thornton is killed by natives, and Buck goes full-on wild man and slaughters all of them. The remaining ones run into the wood and tell stories of this crazy dog. He just goes full feral at that point, and he takes revenge on them and joins a pack of wolves and lives out the rest of his days as this psycho dog who wants to kill the people who killed the man that he loved. I fucking loved this. End of story. I love it. I feel like I always have this prejudice going into books that are this old and written from this time period, because I feel like there's just no way that something this old is going to hold up or read as well as a modern book will. And in some cases that's true, but God damn it, this one got me in my feelings so many times. It's short and it's fantastically paced and so much happens in it, but I think that it just has such a gut punch of honesty and brutality and just the ways of things, and it just understands so much. The language didn't bother me at all. yeah, it just felt so real. Like everything about it was very raw and very real, and I really loved it. This is entirely told from Buck's perspective, so it was really cool to get a dog's perspective. You know, it's not a normal way that a story's told, but I thought it worked so well. I think that London really kept it pretty simple, which is what it needed to be. Buck should not have the same thoughts and feelings as a human being would. He's a dog. He completely understands how a dog works, while also making it very relatable to a human being. Yeah, the relationships and the hierarchies and how he establishes himself and the other dogs establish themselves, he nails all of that so perfectly. There's a ton of action in this as well, which I really was not expecting. A lot of dog fights, a lot of man fights, a lot of dog versus man fights, more dog fights, and running, a lot of running and pulling sleds, and more dog fights. One in particular that I thought was a total standout amongst most of the things in this. Buck fights against his rival and kind of leader of the pack, and Buck knows, like, if I'm going to lead this pack, like, I got to kill this motherfucker. And they get into a fight in the middle of the woods chasing after a hare, and they fight to the death, and Buck fucking kills him, and it's just so good, and it's raw to the bone, and I really enjoyed it. So much about this book is about reverting back to your primal self, and Buck has a lot of dreams about wolves and like cavemen, and he really is like connecting more to the wolf side of himself and kind of balancing those the whole time. That's a running theme that can relate back to people, especially in terms of like civilization and modern times, and how much easier and, while great and comfortable, living like this is. We have lost something about ourselves that I think we yearn for, and it causes a lot of problems, and that it's not a bad thing to really embrace your more primal instincts sometimes. There's also a ton of death and like violence in this. It's great. It's so good, but it's also like really tough to read a lot of the time because it's against dogs usually. In particular, there's a dog named Dave who he's just getting worked to death by the three morons, and just reading about him struggling, and like he just keeps trying to get back up even though he's dying. Like it's the worst thing. For me personally, I think the greatest part of this book was the relationship between Buck and Thornton, and watching Buck love him and Thornton love him back. I'm sure I'm completely biased in this because I have loved dogs and I've lost dogs, and this just made me tear up, which I don't think has ever happened in a book. I don't think I've ever gotten emotional like that reading something, but this did. I loved their moments and their adventures together, with Buck saving Thornton from the river and Buck pulling the sled out of the ice on this $1,000 bed in town all by himself. And that's what made the ending that much more devastating and powerful when Thornton is killed and Buck finds him, and him taking revenge and becoming the ghost dog. His story has been filled full of tragedy. He's watched so many people die around him, some that he loved, some that he didn't. But, you know, at this point, he's just completely gone back to who he really is. He's just going to live in the woods and hunt Native Americans down and kill them. Overall, I'm giving The Call of the Wild a 5 out of 5. It is rare that a classic book like this is this good and resonates this much with me. This is up there easily with one of the best books I've ever read. I love this so much. I highly recommend it to anybody, especially if you love dogs. It's fantastic and absolutely deserves its place as being one of like the greatest books ever written. It totally deserves to be there. Great stuff. But what do you think? Have you read The Call of the Wild? Do you love it? Do you not love it? Sound off in the comments below. Be sure to like this video. I would really appreciate it. And also to smash that subscribe button. Please. Also, please. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye.